Hello, everyone, and welcome to shoplocaldesigners.com. We have some amazing designers on this platform, and I want to introduce you to one today. This is Mya. Say hi, Mya.
Hi, everyone.
So Mya is amazing, and we really want to know a little bit more about herself, her brand, what she has going on, and what you could see in the future for sure. So please first tell us, where can we find you at? Where's all that good stuff?
Okay, well, so the brand is called 13-7, and I have a website which is actually 13-7
Okay.
spelled out. That's one thing, you realize when your brand name is numbers, you have to constantly tell people to spell it out. So
Yes.
but 13-7 actually comes from my initials. MG are the 13th and 7th letters of the alphabet. And they're also kind of really important numbers in a lot of different cultures and spiritualities. They have a lot of significance. So I found that correlation really interesting. And part of also, it relates back to my brand where I just really believe in making connections, whether it be between people, between helping people find their style, or just, the right garment, the right fabric, whatever it may be. So that's kind of where that came from.
Okay.
And I have always had a passion for shirting, as long as I can remember. And as I got older and started to develop, I really found some issues with wearing button-down shirts that I knew a lot of women could relate to. I'd been dealing with them on my own for years, double-sided tape, safety pins, camisole, whatever it may be. So, I decided to, follow that ultimate dream and, start 13-7. So
Yeah, I love that. I was actually wondering when I first saw your brand name, I was like, 13-7, where did that come from? But that's so cool. That's really creative. I love that.
thank you. Yeah, a little crazy tidbit that I only realized about a year later was it's also my house number that I grew up in.
Oh, wow.
Just
It
full
just all worked out.
of connections. Yeah, and that always excites me. I like that kind of stuff. So
Oh, yeah, I love that. I love that it kind of it was okay, let's see a name, and it went really deep. So that's really cool.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so the next question I want to ask you is basically, how would you describe your aesthetic or your fashion genre for your brand?
Well, first and foremost, I think that slow fashion is a huge part of the driver. I was never interested in, necessarily being a big brand producing 6 collections a year and all that stuff. I really truly believe in quality over quantity. And I know that that's not necessarily a reality for everyone, but I do think that it's important to, create pieces that people can have for a long time, and so that's part of what drives kind of the overall kind of wanting to have pieces that can have that, not too trendy. And that, my vision is also kind of comes from a problem solving angle. I really like puzzles and solving problems. And that goes back to what I was saying with, I had this problem and I really believe that so many women could relate to it. So I wanted to really solve this problem however I can and put something out there that really combines fashion and function.
Yes, I love that answer because especially now with quarantine times, people are looking for something that's going to last a lot longer and be very good quality. So we need timeless pieces, and that's perfect for that. So I love that answer.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so the next question I have for you is, do you work with a team? Is it yourself? How does this whole brand come together?
Yeah, so really it is mostly myself. I still consider myself a young brand and I've put out 2 collections so far, and I mostly, am alone and do everything by myself, but at the same time, it's impossible to do everything alone. And whether it's, the technical designers, the sample makers, the fabric reps,
Right.
even people who might help with social media or with different things. There's definitely a network of people, whether they're part of the brand specifically or not, that have a huge impact on what goes down. So even though, yes, I'm alone, I can never fully say that I'm alone, because there's all the people that you partner with are a huge part of, your success and how you feel about everything.
Yeah, it definitely takes multiple people doing multiple things to make one big vision come together, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that answer. So the next question I want to ask you is basically, what's your favorite part about being a business owner?
Definitely just the fact of, business owner / designer, being able to come up with an idea and then see it come to, reality, and you can touch it, you can wear it, and being able to impact people. But also as a business owner, it's just amazing to feel like you built something from the ground up, even just the business itself, having a vision, having an idea, knowing like this was my dream for so many years that I thought was just a dream. And then finally actually having the ability to make it a reality and see it happen, it's just the most fulfilling thing. You're like, wow, I actually did that thing that I was dreaming about when I was a kid.
Right.
So it's really powerful, and it's emotional even.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree, because it's like you have this vision and now it's in your hands, and it's like, wow, I literally created this from my head and it's real now. So yeah, that would definitely be the best part. I would definitely agree. Yes. Okay, so the next question I have for you is, how do you find inspiration for your collections?
So inspiration is definitely, a multifold thing. I have always been very strongly inspired by menswear. I wouldn't say that my brand is, menswear for women or unisex, because physically, fit wise, and fit is extremely important. The shirts are created for women, for a problem that women's bodies specifically have, but inspiration comes from menswear, and honestly a lot, even though a lot of the aesthetic is very much like workwear, and some of my shirts are more formal, some are more casual, but street style. I feel like, walking around on the streets of New York City is just like the biggest inspiration. You see people, in the most upscale areas in the, uptown, downtown, mixing them, combining, I say, like the glamour and the grit. And New York has all of it, and being able to see all the extremes every day is what inspires me a lot. So just the city in which the brand is born and actually manufactured as well is my biggest inspiration.
Yeah, I definitely really sympathize with that, for sure, because New York is definitely a place where you can't go anywhere without being inspired. So it's like, it doesn't matter if you're walking home, going to the store, or meeting up with friends, or just
like
you can find it anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for that. So the next question I have is, how were you affected as a business owner by COVID-19?
Well, we've all been affected. Definitely not as much walking around New York City, having to quarantine and be at home. Just kind of, I think that the whole pandemic, especially, it's a global pandemic, and we've come to a place in time and in society where everything is global, fashion trends, what people see, how we communicate. We live in this global world, and to see that this pandemic hit globally. So as a business owner, and as a person in general, it really caused me to take a step back and to kind of need to take some time to reevaluate priorities, not just in fashion and business, but in our own lives. And how, so it made me think a lot about, how do I want to move forward in business? what do I want to push? Sometimes it's hard to push fashion when there's, all these other crises happening around the world. And you're like, okay, well, what is my place in this? And how can I maybe shift things to try to be doing better things,
Right.
So, the one thing that we all, I think, got to do is use all our extra fabric. I started making masks out of sample swatches that I've received over the years, and
Yeah.
all the extra sample yardage and bits and pieces. So, I think like everybody else started making masks at home.
Yeah.
On my old sewing machine, and just seeing, even if I was giving them to friends and family and not just selling them. My partner's a nurse, so we really felt that at home too. And yeah, I don't think there's a person in the world who hasn't been impacted.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing is like you said, this is a global pandemic, like it's affecting everybody.
Yeah.
And I would definitely agree that it's definitely made people not look only at the business side of things, like how do we move forward and keep thriving and being successful, but also personal, like how can I myself move around this kind of situation? So yeah, for sure. And it's definitely made everybody very creative. Everybody's been at home, so they're like, okay, let me take something and make something out of something else. So yeah.
Yeah, and just slowing down.
Yeah. It's been a pro and a con. It's like I'm stuck at home, but some new ideas and some new things are coming out of it. So yeah, I definitely see that for sure. Thank you for that answer. Okay, so almost to the last question. So this is the second to last. Yes, like we get right through it. So what's some good advice for fellow business owners or others looking to become business owners in this uncertain time?
I think that the best advice I would have for anybody is, if you want to start a business, make sure that you work in that business first and that you have really enough experience to build the confidence that you need to start a business in that industry, that you really know the industry well enough. And I say that because I don't think I had enough of it before I started.
Yeah.
So I think that was one of the, even though I did have some experience, I think the hardest lesson I learned was really, it was awesome because I was like, I'm going to learn everything and I'm going to, do everything on my own. And I don't want to outsource and hire because I really, wanted to really have my hands on every aspect. But then there were so many things that I had to learn as I went. And I think a little bit more variety of experience and different things, because I think people don't realize that when you start a business, you're not just doing the fun stuff. You have to figure out how to, do your QuickBooks, or you have to, do all these other random things that you may not have been prepared for. So, you just have to be ready for that. So I think that getting as much experience as possible and continuing to do so while you're building your business is really important.
Yeah, that was a really great answer. I feel like somebody for sure can definitely relate to either your situation or even learn from it. So that was a really great answer. Thank you. Okay, so the last question I have for you is, what can we see in the future for your brands?
Well, I definitely still, for now, I'm focusing on the shirt, the staple. I really do believe in it. And, I would like to try to find ways to be a little bit more sustainable and keep pushing towards that. Producing locally was kind of my initial first way to really try to be sustainable and make sure that people, I'm using factories that, pay, and places that, I feel good about, using fabric suppliers that I really trust.
Yeah.
I would like to find more sustainable cottons and stuff like that. But the other thing that is a little bit random is that I found that I know a bunch of people running for kind of political offices in New York City, like city council here and there and different things. And I really want to get my shirts on those people, because it's kind of a way to feel like, well, really helping to do something locally.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's just putting a shirt on a person, but I think that there's something behind that. It's like, okay, well, who are the people? I don't want to focus on celebrities, but I feel like focusing on people who can actually have an impact
Yeah.
in the world, even if it's local. I think that is kind of really exciting for me, and realizing that got me really excited. So I think that is like a cool angle, and just kind of, continuing to represent slow fashion, producing locally, and doing things the right way.
Yeah, no, that's very exciting. I mean, even you saying, oh, it's just putting a shirt on a person, but sometimes putting a shirt on a person can mean so much, and it could really reach so many people too. So that's really, really great.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. We're definitely excited to see all the amazing things that you have coming. I'm definitely excited to see, especially if you're dressing some of these people who are making changes within our world. That would be really, really great. So for the people out there watching this, please go and vote. Please go and make sure that you're a part of the changes happening in the world. Because whether it's just putting a shirt on a person, voting, or speaking up about the cause, it definitely makes a difference. And our voices definitely need to be heard. So,
Absolutely.
yes. So thank you so, so much for coming on this platform. We really, really do appreciate it. And we can't wait to see all the amazing things you do. Where can we find you on social media?
I have a Facebook page. I'm more active on Instagram, so it's 13_7.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, and I have more of a lookbook there, and then I do, some other features and stuff like that. I've been showing my masks on there here and there. So Instagram is the best way to reach me, or through the website. And I just hope to continue to be putting good stuff out there. So I really appreciate you guys having me. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, of course. No, we love having you on here. And everybody, please go check out Mya's brand on her website and also on her page. You can find more information on shoplocaldesigners.com. Thank you so much, Mya. And yeah, we'll see you later. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.